You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Broadcasting to you live from the inside of the Upside Down, where we're going to turn it inside out. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Ooh, outside. Cha 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 cha. Yeah. Hey. Hey. Hello. 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 This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. You all right there?
No. Hey, what's going on,
Hey, that's Uncle Jay.
Uncle Jay's back.
We got Ed.
You look good. You
Thanks.
got the jail pale. It suits you.
Okay. Thank you. That's true, though. Then we got my brother Bob on guitar. You heard some of that.
Hola. How are you today?
Hello.
Hola.
All right.
All right.
How you doing, Jay?
Nice to be back, Chief. You ready to turn this motherfucker upside down?
Yeah, inside out,
It
baby.
was a little too quiet last week.
Yeah, it was. We didn't have you or brother Bob, as we can tell. The
Yeah.
two of you
First time
already
I-
making plenty of noise.
It got very Idaho in here.
Yeah.
Only one of us needs a musical instrument to be loud, though.
Well,
How many potatoes did you eat?
well, I'm glad you guys joined us. I'm glad you guys came back.
Well, we're here.
It's the first time I actually was never really on any episode. except-
Big salute to you, man. That's true. There's a first episode I think
mean,
you ever
one time,
missed.
Well, yeah, one time I was in Florida, but I actually Skyped in.
You Skyped in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So screw work.
I'm very sorry that I wasn't here. I was doing things.
Yeah. Doing things.
But yeah, I listened back and I had to turn it up a little bit because
Right, you felt a little, not as noisy?
there's times where I wish I was here. Believe me, when I listen back and you guys talking about shit,
Yeah.
I wish I was here. But I'm here now
Oh, we appreciate you coming in.
to correct things.
Yeah. So I see. Are we live? Are the people can hear us in the chat room?
Evidently.
Okay, cool. But they're just not talking to each other, I guess. I wasn't sure. I didn't see any activity.
Oh, yeah, but there are people in the chat.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to start. I'm going to type something into the chat, which I never do. I'm going to type in a classic hello.
Oh, all
I'm
right.
going to say hello to all of them and see what they do back.
Can you fucking hear us?
Little how do you do?
Tip in the hat.
How you doing?
This is Uncle Jay asking the chat room to fucking type something so you know we can hear us.
Well, no. It's
Ed, stop. Chat room, can you hear us?
No, they can hear us.
Okay, good.
They can hear us. That was just. Thank you. Thank you for backing me up, though.
I got your fucking back.
All right. You don't have to swing at our own people, though. All right.
I'm not swinging at anybody. I just want to hear.
Yes.
I'm turning my mic down, my headset down.
Good. No. That's. Thank you.
That was perfect.
Yeah, I know, but that's exactly what you did.
I think I'm a little too late and turning my mic down.
Oh,
That wasn't too loud.
Bob's hearing is perfect, by the way. That's just how he always talks.
That was not the way I did it. That
what?
Was,
No, that was kind of the way you did it.
that was no.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit.
We got Zombie John in the chat.
Well, good for him. I'm happy that he's here. All right. So seriously, this is episode 148.
Yep.
That was a belch by Uncle Jay.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not letting anybody get away with it anymore.
Look for the single on iTunes.
It's coming soon. It's a short one. Do you think you can have a 1 second song on iTunes?
Yes.
Okay.
I think iTunes doesn't give a fuck. They just want their $1.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly.
If you can get $1 for it. So 148, we're going to get to some news, maybe some reviews. We got a chat room game for those kids. If people want to get an email, they still can. Podcast at wickedtheory.com. If you're listening live, which you probably should be, if it's Saturday.
Yeah.
What else are you doing right about this time?
Exactly.
You're probably getting ready to go out or something. Mm-hmm. But you could have us on in the background.
I go out sometimes after I leave here.
That's Do you? You
Yeah,
go
head
wander
over, to, head over to Krug's.
you wander the streets?
I think you give at least some of our listeners a little too much credit, Bill.
Oh, well, I give them all the credit in the world because we like them.
We do like them.
That's good.
But, you know, nerds are nerds, and usually on
Should I
Saturdays...
turn this down while you fuss? Yeah, let me turn that down while you set it up. Set it up. Do your thing. Okay, cool. I'll turn it back up now. Then.
Yeah, cutting me off.
I'm very nervous about giving any fussing mic sounds to the listeners anymore after CBJ audio issues we had. Yes, send in those emails, kids.
Yep.
If you want to, check out the Facebook page. At Wicked Theory. Check out the Caption Contest. We do that. We play around with that. You guys have fun with that. I try not to post on there because I would just dominate. And I like to leave it for everybody else to have fun and play. So you can hang out. Bob posts in there sometimes. Uncle Jay posts in there. Ed doesn't like it at all. He doesn't like fun, so he doesn't go there.
Well, I read it.
Oh, that's good. You did read some before.
I read it.
Put something DC.
Oh, I'm supposed to respond?
Put something DC in there. He'll fucking respond.
Well, speaking of, DC TV report this week.
Yes.
Fixed the audio issue.
On my end, yes.
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 and on hers, it's transferred, but it's tiny. It's just a little tiny thing.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be there at all next week.
Yeah, it was fun. You know, who knew that Italian pastries could be so effective in fixing sound issues? That's all I'll say.
Fair enough.
As a little preview.
Yeah. So if I'm getting a little heads up that Wes may be sending an audio clip to the email. Don't think that you'll hear it this week if you do that. Just saying. Because I don't do the emails off the iPad. I do them off the laptop, and that's a whole we could hear it if I played it from there right now with this setup.
No guarantees.
But the audience wouldn't.
No guarantees over at the Wicked Theory.
Maybe I'll set it up for next week if it's a thing. But anyway, DC TV report. Go check it out. Also, hey, if people want to check it out, Agent Palmer did a Jessica Jones post, little non-spoiler recap. You should go check that out. He's got a couple other good posts on there recently. He's done some good stuff lately.
He's watched the whole season?
Yeah, he binged that shit like crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, he was an animal about it.
I can see how if you can get through the first couple, you don't want to stop because you and I have gotten through 5.
That's right. Yeah. We got up to 5, and it's just
really starting to get to the point where all the new stuff is no longer new, and now the story is coming.
Right, starting to gel.
You know?
Well, I like looking at her. So
Yeah, she's pretty good on the ice.
She's sexy.
Yeah.
And all I'm just gonna say,
Yeah, well, you like drunk women, so.
Yeah, she's totally my girl, man.
Oh yeah, except she could kick your ass.
That'd be fun too.
yeah, but you like swimming with bow-legged women.
Yes.
And stuff like that.
That's right, TV.
All right, so who's in the chat? Let's jump along. Who's in the chat?
We got Wesley, Zombie John, Henno,
Hello.
Benny,
So much henna lately.
Yeah.
Benny Livewire,
Benny Livewire. Nice. Thanks.
Yeah. Bauer Fett.
Bauer Fetz.
He's an avid listener to DC TV
That's
report.
right.
Yeah.
But he's but Bauer's been here before, I think.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through the years.
I like that name.
Through the years.
He's a fan of the Fett.
That's right. That's right.
Like I'm a fan of the Fett.
That's right. You'd be a fan of the Bauer Fett then. That's it. That's what we got.
Yeah, that's what we got.
Let's give him a game.
All right.
Ooh, game time.
Game time.
We addressed Henno earlier in the show. I don't know if he was there for that.
Yeah.
I don't have official game music, but I'll give you this for now.
Whoa.
Hey,
That was loud.
Oh, is that Mumra?
No, it wasn't.
This is
that's the soundtrack to Lady Hawk.
this is actually Panthro.
I think it was actually from Automan.
This is Panthro's music from Thundercats.
That's
What about Hudson Hawk?
that's the missing track from Krull soundtrack.
This,
Space Hunter.
if I
Cobra.
if I heard this in
Movie
Krull,
Cobra.
You know, I'm talking about the
most-
synthesizer.
I know they're very open thing.
Yeah.
I got you. Anyway,
So the hashtag for this week is High School a Horror Movie.
ooh, spooky.
Examples include
I don't want that. I want this thing. I want the horror movie.
A Nightmare in Home Ec,
Oh,
and the textbook Return Line Massacre.
damn! Remember that?
Harney Horror.
Remember?
Praying
Hey,
to God.
some of these take a little work, all right?
Somebody's got to be the villain around here. Might as well be me. Right?
Well, yeah. But hey, beat them.
You weren't scared that there would be like a torn page or like
Fuck them.
a mark written in the book.
Never start a sentence to Jay. You weren't ever scared when because the answer's gonna be fuck no. Like, remember that time the car was coming at you and like you didn't have time? Fuck that. I punched the fucking
I was
car.
hit by a car on a bike once.
And the car never lifted up.
the
down.
fucking guy got out and yelled at me is what he did.
Yeah,
That's
well,
Newark for you.
Yeah, well, I got hit by a car too. Did a flip around, kicked my friend in the face.
I did glide right over the
I'll
hood.
tell you this much. My buddy Jay, that was here, right? That kid Jay.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
The one story we didn't tell.
we sat through that.
It was when I got hit by the car. And did we tell the story? No, I got hit by the car. I run into the comic book shop of all things, and spun around 360 and kicked him in the face, where he had like the tiniest little mark on his face for a while, and that's how he would tell the story every time. You ever want to hear about the time he kicked me in the face? Which is a funny setup when you think about it, because the punchline is, yeah, well, he got hit by a car, so. But he never really sold it like that.
I got his social security number. That's how much he told us.
All right, I just put the Facebook link up, so be careful. He might see it. All right, he might hear us now.
He doesn't hear
Stop
nothing.
talking about him. So I don't know. I guess my mic's coming through all right. So yeah, that's the game, kids. Play along at home or wherever you are. Don't forget, if you listen to us live, you could always download the Mixler app if you haven't already, and take us with you. Take us on the run.
Yep.
Take us on the go.
Yep.
Take it on the run, baby.
Yeah, there's that.
I'm so sad I wasn't here last week.
I know too much out in the world, because when you light that pipe up with that little torchlight, I think you're smoking crack.
Well,
It's just the maneuver. It's just about the hand swirl motion with the torchlight.
listen,
It's like, oh my God, he's freebasing into my house.
Listen.
What the fuck is going on here?
you got a New Jack gangster here.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
Take it
Pookie's my next
I was just
door
gonna
neighbor.
I was just gonna call you Pookie. I was like,
Pookie.
take it easy, Pookie.
It just keeps calling me and
You know what I
calling
mean?
me. It
There's-
keeps calling
Let
me.
me tell you, Pookie. Just don't think that you're gonna be hiding that shit in your underwear and get out of here, okay?
I like the fact-
because we're gonna search you down.
I like the fact that Judd Nelson's there.
What, in the chat room?
Yeah, the chat room. He might as well be.
Meow God just walked in though.
Oh, hey, Chiefy, Chief.
He's having his breakfast, no doubt.
Probably.
I'd like to know
Probably.
what anime he watched this weekend, because he'll post it in the chat for me.
Something. I bet you. What's the hot new thing, Meow God? In
Appleseed.
Appleseed version 12.2. Yeah. It keeps going, that mech stuff.
But they did do a film where they actually the sub name of the film was Ex Machina.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if you know that.
There's an Appleseed
It's Appleseed
movie.
Ex Machina.
Yeah, there's a live action Appleseed
5
movie.
years or 6 years before Ex Machina.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a comic book called Ex
Yeah,
Machina, too,
right.
which is just a whole different
Anyway,
franchise.
is this the story of Johnny Appleseed in the future?
Nope.
Might as well be. Yeah.
It could be. There might be a reason for the Appleseed reference. I thought Appleseed was actually just the name of the armor or the mech suit.
That's
This
my
is very
nickname.
inside manga and anime from the 90s conversation. Sorry.
Johnny Toothpick.
But that's
gonna
what
be
we
my
do
name.
here. That's what we do here. We take a lot of left turns. And every now and then, we get to the news. I'm just saying, once in a while.
Let me stop talking and let Bob play.
Well, I was. It's newsy time. It's a little news.
In the mouth for war.
Parker.
So we
Can you
got
turn me back up now.
Parker.
So we got word David Chase, creator of The Sopranos, is writing a movie prequel.
Ooh.
It's called The Many Saints of Newark,
How wonderful.
and
There's only one that I know, and he's here with us today.
it's gonna tell the story of Tony Soprano's father, Giovanni. And it takes
Giovanni Soprano. Oh,
Yeah.
ah, paisan.
takes place during the Newark riots.
Oh,
in the-
scusi.
in the 1960s. He will not direct, but he will be choosing who is.
Oh, that's good. Well, I mean, for the best. Hey, look, you know what?
It'll be Timothy Van Patten, maybe.
You know what? I just hope it stands alone by itself. It's good enough to be what it is. It's gonna have enough people like sweating it and like debating on what's it gonna be. Between now and then,
I'm gonna audition.
you should. You
I'm
should.
gonna.
You should.
I'm telling you, that's the truth. There's no lie in that
Jay,
sentence.
I do not doubt it for a minute. I do not doubt it for a minute. Yeah. I might have to go with you. I might have to go
You
with
should.
We might have to bring the four of us down there and see who gets in. See if any of us. And all of a sudden it's like we want all 4 years. But you all die. You're like, yeah, that's fine.
Oh, that's good.
Fine.
Put
That's
me
good.
in.
That's great.
Cash my
That
check.
means I'm definitely in.
But yeah, no, I mean,
Ed gets to be the Irish guy who dies first.
that's right.
And I'll be like, yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
That sounds about right. Yeah, but yeah.
No, I mean the thing that's weird with this is weren't they going to make a movie and then?
Well, here's the thing. David Chase never, like a true Italian, never wants to be told.
Mm-hmm.
I think is the thing. It's like, that was the thing with Sopranos. Oh, the show's going to come back when it fucking comes back, okay? That's why you had, like, it was the first show to make people, like, wait, like, a year plus sometimes
Yeah.
for the return of a season. But at the end of it, I think people were like, oh, what are you going to do? You're going to do a movie, you're going to do a movie, you're going to do a movie. And I think at the time, he's like, I think the only other story there really is prequel stuff. And I have, like, ideas for what that is, but it doesn't mean it's a movie right now.
Yeah.
And slowly over time, I'm sure he's just kind of noodled at the story. And now, if you look at the clock, it's right about
Broke time.
residuals and mortgages and pluses and minuses and beach houses all kind of add up to a point where, like, yeah, okay, we need a paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, that those royalty checks from the A&E,
yeah.
whoever's airing the edited version of Sopranos these days.
Yeah.
Got myself a gun.
I still think there's a script floating around that got scrapped after James Gandolfini passed away.
Oh, probably. I mean, I don't know if it's a full-on script. I'm
Where's
sure there's
Christopher?
Maybe it's the treatment.
Where's the fucking amount of good? How come every time I go in this fucking refrigerator, there's no fucking amount of good? Where's Dr. Melfi?
Because the best over there, he's eating it all.
Where's Christopher?
There's fucking ducks in my pool. I like the pool.
I'm gonna say
But there's
something
fucking-
about
But
this.
there's fucking ducks in the fucking pool.
There's a fucking guy from Newark here.
Yeah.
No,
And
you
then
must
we'll,
like
we'll
Menegot.
let you get the last word on this
If
one.
you're
Man.
freaking from Newark, if he's from Newark, it should be good with the Menegot.
You got to work on your Gandolfini, but I like it.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you wanted to revive Sopranos somehow, you have to do it in a clever way. This is a clever way of doing it
Right.
because I know all about the Newark riots. I mean, it was just before my time, but I know the history of that. To use that kind of backdrop for the rise of that family, I think is perfect. You just got to do it right.
Yeah.
So I say you get me.
To
play Little
I didn't know
Junior.
where this was going.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
So I'm
Yeah.
going to audition for this. If there's an open casting call, I'm going to go.
You look like you could be a cousin of Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where's your gabagool?
Fucking like Luigi.
Luigi. And Mario.
We're going to fix your pipes.
Fucking Super Mario Brothers.
We're going to fix your pipes or use the pipes to fix you. All right.
All right, so I'm game for this cash. Cash!
Enough with this stereotyping.
So
Yeah.
Bill, you read this next story because I just can't. I just can't.
Which one is the next one? You throwing this at me like I wasn't ready.
I'll read it. What is it?
Details about the weird ass Joker movie.
Oh well, I gotta.
No,
open up
you
the
should read that.
Oh,
That's
I-
your
yeah,
wheelhouse.
I've heard something about this. Is this you guys talking about the one where the Joker is a failed stand-up comic?
Yeah, I'll get into this. So because it's not. If I knew I was gonna read, I wouldn't have used this article. Because I got to paraphrase because this is an article that's not written in an official capacity. It's like personality. article.
It's a bullshit internet article.
No. It's just written with an angle. It's like somebody else's voice. Apparently, the film will show Joker as a really awful 80s comedian who bombs so much it makes him crazy. But basically,
Right.
they're taking the concept of Joker as a comedian from Alan Moore's comic book. From
Killing Joke.
The Killing Joke.
Right.
And from that, they're spiraling out with the whole taxi driver-esque early days Joker origin. But now, a lot of talk is that Joaquin,
Joaquin.
Joaquin Phoenix
Now, is there a problem
is,
with this?
is connected.
I don't buy it.
It's one of the. I think it's
How
one of the.
can you not see the
I see the
possibilities?
project, but I agree with, and only like in the slides. I think there's a thin line where like this could go wrong. That's all, because I see the project as good ideas. I like the ideas.
I'll let you hash it out, and then I'll
Yeah.
Right,
I'll
you're
say
gonna
something.
agree with me in the end, because we already do. The ideas are all great. The only thing that's like a curiosity is Todd Phillips. But otherwise, like I got hopes for it because it's like, do we need it? No. Would it be cool to see if they pull it off? Yeah, probably. But it's one of these things that's going to confuse people in the end.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't like the idea of a Joker prequel. 'Cause
Yeah, in general, I like the enigma of
I
him.
prefer him to not have a backstory. I
Right.
think
Right.
filling that in, it's something. I
Yeah.
really don't think you should touch that. And if it's gonna be a young Joker, I think Joaquin Phoenix is too old.
Well, there's that angle too.
Right.
You know, and he doesn't. It's not like Leo DiCaprio, where he just has looked 25 for the last 30
Right.
years.
Joaquin's at a point now where he's starting to look his age a little bit. Bob.
I think I like the idea overall. I think that Joaquin Phoenix, he wasn't who I thought of when I was reading the article.
Right.
What's his name? Phil Dunphy from Modern Family.
Okay.
That's the guy who came into my head.
Wow. I could see him under makeup. He looks like the Killing Joke Joker, kind of like.
I mean,
Jeez, he might actually be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I think he's got a stand up and comedy background.
Yeah.
Beyond Modern Family. You know, so and he's got the commercials that he used to do and everything. So I think he would make a better choice overall.
Yeah.
I don't think the Joker needs to be really young.
Yeah.
But I think he needs to feel not as mature as maybe he should be for his age.
Yeah.
So I don't think the age thing is really that big an issue. I would rather prefer they don't mention the age at all, and maybe just not mention this, do it as a prequel.
I think
just do it as a period in time, like he's
if they can kind of just sell
decided he's going to do stand up.
to sell that this is just a standalone thing, that it may or may not have any connection to any other DC stuff. As long as like audiences in general don't take it 100%, like, oh, this has got to be his definite origin. Because even in a Killing Joke, there's still some kind of vagueness to it, because it's, I believe it's still. Is it recanted? Is that him telling the story, or is he or is it flashbacky, or are we watching that happen?
It's flashbacky.
Okay.
You know,
I think there was a little bit of a flim-flammy.
Yeah,
backdoor.
The other thing in the article, it says that they're supposed to be shooting later this year, but because they have to do heavy rewrite scripts, they're in danger of that seeing heavy delays. I still think this is something that's never going to happen.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. And Jay, what are you thinking about it, man?
Addressing the issue of Joaquin Phoenix, I'm going to say that while he may be too old as a name only, as just like throwing names out there,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that, because I think that he's somebody that can look younger if he tries. So he's a great actor, and I think that he can pull that off. But let me cast that aside.
Let me just say, like if it's a standalone thing, like age really doesn't matter. Like even Bob's suggestion of the other guy, like that works for me too. Because if it's about a guy who can't make it, that could be any age.
Will Poulter, too, is a guy that I think that can pull that off, because he's a really good actor.
Yeah.
He was in Detroit, and he's somebody I can see that. But let's put all that aside for a second. The fact that I had said on this show before about this, that this is a great opportunity to do something really special about this.
Right.
DC is not the best production company to talk about continuity with different products. You know what I mean? You have the TV, you have this, you have that movies, you have that, you have that. What you have the animated films. Let's put all that aside for a second. If you wanted to tell a Joker story, I've said this to you, Ed, where you made it a very lavish biopic of sorts.
Right.
To use that element from the Alan Moore, which is him as a stand-up comic. Right? It's perfect.
Right.
It's absolutely perfect. Make it like a biopic of a gangster in the rise.
Right.
Like Bugsy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even like Bugsy. Warren Beatty's Bugsy shows Bugsy in his older age. And I'm just saying, like, if you took that lavish kind of production and made a biopic of a gangster turned supervillain.
Sure.
You'd really have something there. And if you had Joaquin Phoenix, you have the acting chops to do that.
Yeah.
You have Scorsese producing this. I don't know if he's still on board or not.
Right.
But you would have definitely some money and some credentials backing that up. Todd Phillips still kind of shakes me up a little bit, but who's to say he can't do it?
No, and also too, from what I know about Todd Phillips, is that, like, you know, he wasn't always known, like before The Hangover. Like, I think his background was a little more varied.
Right.
So he's kind of become known as a comedy guy.
Well, you'd be surprised how many comedy directors started out in certain things. So that doesn't surprise me either.
Absolutely, yeah.
They have something here where they can actually make a very dark biopic.
Yeah.
And do it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix is a step in the right direction acting-wise.
Right.
And he's somebody that can change and can look younger, like DiCaprio.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything
wrong
with this going forward. In fact, I'm quite optimistic about it.
All right, cool. Cool.
That's what I have to say.
I think we're kind of like leaning like best hopes for all, even if like I'm a little on the dowdy side. But it's one of these things. It's just just in general, it's like all right, well, knock it out of the park because it's a thing where like if, I would feel like it's unnecessary a little bit too. Like I like the Enigma version of him. If you painted this also too as like an aspect of what might be the truth or might not in the movie, if you find like still some Enigma angle-ish kind of thing to do with him, okay. Like we don't know what the full ideas of this thing are either. We could all be kind of like knee-jerk reactioning to it a little bit. But it could be more nuanced than we give it credit for.
But I think Warner Brothers is kind of saying, all right, we had enough of not knowing about his background. How about if we did something where we showed a biopic of this, which is different in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
In Killing Joke, we got very little.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
In fact, all we got was
that one kind of angle and then him falling into the vat.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah, if you got some good writers on this, and if you got the right team, this could be something special. But again,
what I wouldn't mind is a little bit of like maybe he's already kind of like in action, and we get to see some different kind of like maybe the rumors or thoughts of like, oh, I heard he's this, I heard he's that, and we maybe see different versions of that or things that kind of hint. Could be either way. Much like in Dark Knight when he's like he tells two different versions of why he's got the scars. Right. Like you know what I mean? A little cross conflict, and maybe both things could be true. Like like some ambiguousness to it. I feel like there's got to be some because you're gonna take it all away. And we all know that sometimes, when a thing is ambiguous and you finally get the story behind it, it's not always a hit. It's not always a landing. Like you know what I mean? There's some like origins of a thing where it's like, oh, okay.
What I really would like to see is
by the time you get it,
if Scorsese would like talk to guys like Nick Pileggi or Richard Price, people he's worked with in the past, that have that gangster street crime language put into this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because that's the kind of world like he comes from. Right. You know what I mean? And I said this before. The last frame would be just a silhouette of Batman, over the shoulder shot of him turning around and like. Who are you? And
I say fuck it. Let's go full on. Let's get Ray Liotta. Let's do voiceover. Let's do the whole Goodfellas thing.
I say go mockumentary.
I say go joke fellas.
I'm just talking in terms of the fact that Nick Pileggi and Richard Price are really good writers.
Oh no, yeah. That's
they're very good
team,
crime writers.
Yeah.
And this is in Scorsese's, hands.
Right.
Knock on their door. See what they have to say about it. That's what I say.
Fair enough. All right. What do we got next?
Next up, some casting I'm excited about.
Okay.
Wonder Woman 2
has
cast Kristen Wiig as Cheetah.
Wow.
It's an odd choice.
Yeah.
It's offbeat.
It's definitely not what you would think off the top.
Yeah.
But Kristen Wiig's done some drama stuff, and
she did
more recently.
Yeah, I mean she had a part in The Martian, which wasn't really serious or dramatic. She did a movie with Bill Hader called Skeleton Twins.
Right.
That is kind of like a dark comedy.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of different stuff.
But I mean, we're gonna see her acting chops, and I like the idea that they're going with Cheetah. I would say that's Wonder Woman's main nemesis. Main nemesis.
Yeah.
So it's nice that they're not shying away from that. And, they say they're going with the Barbara Ann Minerva version of the character from the 80s. Which she's an archaeologist
who finds a cat totem and then is granted the powers of a cheetah.
So she's.
Am I right? Is that right?
Yeah, she ends up ingesting a combination of human blood and berries or leaves from this one plant.
Well, as you do.
That give her this cheetah persona and and this bloodthirsty rage.
Kind of like how Sheena of the Jungle, in the old TV show, used to channel different animals.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the original Cheetah, it was like a split personality thing where, she would put on the costume and just go nuts and have to kill everybody.
Oh, okay. And then wouldn't remember what she did?
Yeah.
It was like an alter ego?
Yeah.
I got you. Split personality kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
Hulk did it first. Anyway.
I mean, I think she could definitely pull off the heiress archaeologist type bit.
Yeah.
And it's going to be... I think she's got a dark side.
I think it could work. I'm not nervous about it, like as far as her being like the bad guy or dramatic or anything like that. I'm more nervous just about like how they're gonna pull off the cheetah stuff itself. But hey, whatever. My only concern for that is because the Wonder Woman movie feels so freaking grounded
Yeah.
that like. Wonder Woman feels so grounded. Like if Superman popped up, like it would feel weird. Like that's how much more grounded it kind of feels to me. Like the Wonder Woman movies. But hey, cool. Kristen Wiig. It's an outside the box casting, and
I just hope it doesn't mean that there's going to be a lot of like humor.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think DC needs to stay away from the whole humor thing.
Well, they tried to bring it back a little bit because they were getting a little
Yeah,
serious. But there's so many
too
Wonder
much of
Woman-
it will start making it feel like Batman '66.
Well, yeah. Well, there's that. I guess.
You
but
don't want to go for the campy.
no, well, that's a different kind.
Her
Different kind of humor.
appearance in Batman v Superman and Justice League kind of dilutes the groundedness of the first film a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah,
now
well, that's
that
why I
you
meant,
have a
like, on-
second
yeah.
film,
Yeah.
seeing somebody like that won't feel like
Yeah, you're
out of
broadening
left
out, and I
field.
think it's being pushed up. The timeline for the second movie is like more modern day,
Yeah.
or it's up a couple of, like
Decades.
yeah, something like that. It's not.
Maybe we'll be up into the '70s.
Yeah,
But without the invisible plane and the
well,
song.
maybe by that point she's got it.
You're a Wonder Woman.
When are they going to remake Sheena, man?
Remember that?
Give it time. On a long enough timeline, everything will be
Because
remade.
Tanya Roberts was the last time. Oh God, remember her?
I know. I can tell
Gina,
you just
Gina
did.
Lee Nolan did
Sheena-
it in the TV show.
Right.
She reprised it in TV.
That's right. I forgot about that. Holy shit, that was like late '80s.
Yeah, I actually looked
Early
that up
90s?
recently because I watched this show called Garage Squad, and this is one of this guy's reality show. His name is. Did
you find one of your guitars in
Bruno
there?
Mazzell. Bruno Mazzell. He's one of the guys who builds the cars.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, I've seen this guy before, and he sounds like somebody I know too. This is like, so I went looking, and I ended up back at Sheena with the guy there who helps her out.
Okay.
In that show,
Right.
but it's just a dead ringer.
Ah.
But anyway, so that's why I ended up recently knowing Gina Lee Nolan was Sheena. on
That's
TV
how you were
show.
able to name drop that so quick.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. It seemed like quite the pull out of your deck of cards there.
Well, Tanya Roberts did a nice job.
Yeah, well, I know.
I,
She runs
absolutely.
around.
It's because of her that we have PG-13.
Whoa, calm
one
down. We need something else.
Yeah, one
Because that
of.
was a
Yeah.
PG movie.
Yeah,
And
it was
people
a
were
PG movie. It
complaining.
was the PG movie that I remember the news channel went down to the Richmond Theater here, which is no longer exists, and they actually did it from there because it was the big sign that said PG. Sheena, and
She's like naked.
yeah,
Naked
The
like
whole
the
half,
first-
the
first half of the film.
movie.
and then that's what started the whole planning for
Well,
PG-13.
actually, it was Indy Jones and Gremlins. to be,
Yeah. There's a few movies that came out there in that last year that
Yeah.
that pushed it. It was a combination of things.
fucking Gremlins. Man.
Yeah, so she's good. Kristen Wiig, Cheetah, Wonder Woman 2.
Yep.
Next bit is a little bit of news on the Star Wars front.
Yeah, so Star Wars, Disney's streaming service, which has still yet to be named,
Right.
Also like the Warner Brothers DC Comics streaming
We should
service.
have a thing where we pitch
Yeah.
what that name is going to be.
Yeah, but
And
they are going to do a live action Star Wars series on that network, and they've just announced that Jon Favreau will write and executive produce it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I read that. When this DC Warner thing happens, Ed, you're gonna have to hire about 12 new people to help you out with the show.
Well, I mean, we already know we got Titans, we got Metropolis on that network, so we'll see.
Yeah. But Disney's service is gonna, this is good. Well, this is good. This is in good hands. This is good.
Yeah.
Favreau feels like a perfect fit for bringing a franchise like this to TV.
Absolutely, he's a huge comics fan and sci-fi fan, so he knows how to handle this. He was the director on the first Iron Man movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First
So-
and second.
First
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. So and he nailed them pretty well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
He also directed the pilot for the Orville.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And,
So he's got residuals.
that was a very good for a pilot.
Yeah.
And he directed Maid, which is one of my.
Made
Which gives me hope for some personality and some humor in this thing.
Oh, Vince Vaughn is great in that.
Yeah, I want Vince Vaughn in Star Wars somehow.
and
As a douche Jedi.
he also did he has great sci-fi credits. He's got Zathura
Oh, he's right.
and Cowboys versus Aliens.
Well, let's not talk about that.
Vince Vaughn is such.
You're stuck on Vince Vaughn.
Straight
We're moving straight past it.
Wasn't that such a totally disastrous
I didn't even watch
movie?
it. Yeah, Cowboys vs. Aliens. I didn't even
Yeah.
watch it.
It's not terrible. It's just not.
It's exactly the title, and that's it. Like,
Right.
poor Harrison Ford. He's like, I just want to wear a hat in a movie. So I'll make it.
No. Poor Keith Carradine.
Fair enough. He's in that.
Or Keith Carradine.
Almost had his career
Yeah.
back. So look for that. I think the thing with Star Wars is going to be like these branching outs that they're doing is just like, you know.
Well, good. It's a monstrous franchise.
It's true.
Good stuff, man. I'm aboard.
All right. So how about some of that chat room game?
Ooh. What do we
Is that
got?
it for news?
Yeah, that's it for news. We only had the 4 pieces really.
Something else you want to talk about?
You got
Jim?
a little more?
I thought I did, but no. Go ahead. I just realized.
I felt like maybe there was.
I thought there was something there, but
We did burn through it pretty quick.
the only thing I did read was a quick interview with Carl Urban.
Oh, I saw that about Judge Dredd.
When he, not that, but he was talking about how the Tarantino Star Trek thing is still being discussed and whatnot. And he's aboard. He's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Oh, me too.
After Discovery, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I saw. There was another article. He basically said in an interview that Alex Garland really directed Dredd.
Yeah, the screenwriter on Dredd.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he, it was a different person who was credited, but that he really did all the legwork on that movie.
Yeah,
I loved that.
and it was like the worst kept secret.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
it keeps coming up. I think for him, and so he just said, he just kind of like says it.
Yeah, Directors Guild must love hearing that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's always unions dig that shit.
But,
So chat room game.
all right, so the hashtag was high school horror movie.
Yeah. I'll give you some little background music.
All right, so we got The Substitute Teacher Strikes Back.
Nice.
Bayside and Saved by the Bell, a true horror story.
Fair enough. Silence of the Cheerleaders.
Night of the Living Detention.
Sock Hop of the Dead.
There you go. That sounds like it could be a real
Yeah, it sounds like something
from the 80s.
Preacher from the black neighborhood they bust kids from.
that's fucked up.
Oh, and definitely don't give that a bell.
Yeah, no, that's
No bells for that. There you go.
Sorry, Hannah.
Saw Blades 2, shop teachers handcuffed to lathe with a chisel in the middle.
I guess he's giving us a little pitch on the scene that he can say. From Dusk Till Recess. I like that one. The Texas Ruler Massacre.
All right. Psychology.
Oh, Psychology.
Yeah, psychology.
Depends on how you say it.
Yeah.
But we're definitely getting into Norman. Detention Master.
Rocky Horror Homework Show.
Locker in the Gym. I don't know. I don't get that one. Sorry, Wes. PE, The Exorcist.
The Exorcisist.
Oh, no, The Exorcist.
Yeah. Whatever.
Bullies of the Black Lagoon.
Let the Right Student In.
An American Werewolf and Home Ec.
Teachers.
just teachers. It's pretty good.
That's
And-
already a film with Nick Nolte.
That is,
and Ralph
right?
Macchio.
Yeah. Did they learn anything?
No.
I didn't
It's a
think
good
so.
movie, though.
I'm sure it is.
It's
Was
fun.
it a horror movie?
No, it was an R-rated movie of that caliber, so that it has balls.
Was there drugs involved?
Yes.
I had a feeling.
And narcs.
And narcs and some. Is there any crane kicks from Danielson?
No, this was actually, it came out the same year as Karate Kid.
I want a crane kick straight off the top of the table.
I'll do it for you. if you
Off the
want.
top of the teacher desk.
I'll do it right off.
All right,
I'll
we'll
do it
wrap
for
the
you.
show with that. Where were we? Okay, so in homeroom, no one can hear you scream.
Ooh.
Okay.
Locker in the gym. Wes says it's a rip on Cabin in the Woods. Okay,
Oh, okay.
that would make sense.
The Blair Witch Preschool.
That's not good. Paranormal Algebra,
Ooh.
which it all is.
Yeah.
The Bio Writing Project.
I can't hear the music. Is it put up at all or?
Yeah, it's up. Are
Okay.
you deaf? Because it's low.
Yeah, I'm not hearing it at all. All right, that's better.
But I mean, like I just had a kind of crazy low.
Yeah.
You're only really hearing it when we
I
stop
think Ed
talking.
just had a hearing test and didn't know it.
That's all right.
The Chem 101 experiments.
The reanimated Prom Queen.
And It Studies at Night.
All right. That's the chat room game. Thank you for playing. Thank you for winning.
Oh.
Thank you for flying. Chat room airlines. So what are we gonna do next? Are we gonna do anything else? I mean,
Well, meanwhile.
I guess we could do that.
We want to do something different?
I want to fucking.
Let's do something different.
What do you want to do? You want to fight?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll start it tomorrow.
My pants are staying on.
Well, that's good.
Please.
I think you give me a good go.
Who?
You.
I haven't.
Give me a good.
I haven't
give me a good
fought.
go.
I haven't fought since.
I haven't
Junior.
fought since Thursday. So come on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to give you a good go. I don't think I'm going to be the guy to give you a good go. I don't think, because I haven't fought since about junior year in high school, and you really can't even call that a fight, because the kid was just like, he was a bitch, and like I hit him and he went down, like he didn't drop from my hit, but like he went down, and it was one of these, and I kind of kicked him a couple times, and it was just like,
Oh, you did?
you know,
I like that though.
It was right in front of the school. I got in trouble.
You know what?
Between going to the school and working 2 feet away from the school,
But that's beautiful.
You would think me and Tommy would know not to.
the moment anything happens, you're gonna get busted.
Bill, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I won't even. Okay.
You got my respect.
Well, that ain't hard to get.
Meanwhile,
Is that the way to end that?
Yeah, that's the way we're like right over to Meanwhile. And I'm trying to remember what I had for mine. So, Ed, you saw Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, it's a kids movie.
So it's perfect for you.
Yeah, I remember what the hell I had for mine.
Yeah, no, I thought the writing was a little clunky. Good visuals though. Directed by Ava DuVernay.
Yeah,
How was Oprah?
It was all right.
it was all right. Not great.
Nothing special.
I love Harpo.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to spend money on this. You could watch it. You could watch it on HBO. You know, wait till you see it on the premium network.
Yeah,
it'll be on
feels
HBO.
like I'm sorry.
4 months. I'm
if we went at the same time, it feels like a real kind of classic kids movie. Like it wants to be on the shelf with like The Never-Ending Story.
Yeah.
And kind of one of these kind of broad, very unique fantasy young kid kind of movies.
And it's sort of like visually, it's incredible, but the story's kind of complicated, and it goes to a lot of different places, and it just it's trying to be more than it is.
Yeah, it might be. I think it's a book that has like a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, from what I've heard of the books.
Right.
So
There's a lot of transsexual sex in it too, and
No.
okay. Oh, wrong movie.
that's a wrinkle in something else.
A wrinkle in your ass.
A Wrinkle in Christopher Street.
A wrinkle in the taint.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here that I feels like probably makes more sense on the page.
Jay's waving off the show. He's like, I can't no more.
And I was doing Oprah in The Color Purple. That's what that was.
I didn't know that
I
was.
loves Harpo.
Well, if you say so. If you say so. I don't know. At least you saw Color Purple. I didn't see it.
I actually saw it because Steven Spielberg directed it
So,
at
yeah,
the
that's
time, but there was no aliens in it.
good. Lo and behold, there was no sci-fi
Yeah,
element.
it was only, well,
You must have been angry at Schindler's List, huh?
No.
I kept on waiting for it to turn to color.
No, Color Purple's actually very good.
No, it's an amazing movie.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, Wrinkle in Time. You're gonna give it a pass? Is that it? Kind of.
Yeah.
It's a kid's thing.
Yeah.
But Jay saw Deathwish.
Yeah, of course I did.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Of course I did.
Sure,
You know,
of course.
a trailer for that comes out. You think I'm not going to go see something like that?
Oh yeah, I knew who was going to see it.
You know what I also did? I actually picked up the steelbook of the original Deathwish.
How about that?
So I gave that a look, too. You know what I mean? Just before I went to see it. You know what I mean? And
For scientific comparisons.
now I'm going to lightly cash the Deathwish. I'm going to throw that out there right now. The only thing is that I'm kind of, and Ed just told me before the show,
Yeah.
that that Eli Roth didn't go to distance with the screenplay where Paul Kersey, the hero or the anti-hero of Deathwish, if anybody knows the story, it's a home invasion film where Paul Kersey, he was an architect played by Charles Bronson. His wife and his daughter get assaulted. His daughter gets raped and his wife gets killed. So he becomes the New York vigilante
Nice.
and goes out on this, killing spree.
As you do.
Very
know what I
creative killing spree.
Now that's 1974.
Yeah.
All right. Now we cut back to later. Well, now Paul Kersey is a doctor, not an architect. And the same thing happens, except they kill the mother and they assault the daughter with intentions to rape, but they don't go there. And then, of course, everything just falls into place where he, goes on this rampage of killing punks that deserve it. The clever thing about this remake is that they incorporate a lot of the social media aspect of it. They actually put Facebook in there, and and the whole conversation of what do you think of the New York vigilante? Is he right? Is he wrong?
Right.
That was all very interesting, and it was also cool to see Bruce Willis step back into that, machine gun guy.
Tough guy.
You know what I mean? So it was cool. But I think that to not have his daughter raped dilutes his vengeance a little bit.
Yeah, he starts looking more like a nut job than a revenge seeker.
It's more like like every day you see people, their wives or their husbands die, and they don't go on it. This, the fact that, and I'm not like pro rape or anything like that.
No, but it's a thing where like story wise, it changes the layer.
Yeah, it's a mistake to do that.
And it's about the context and like the intent of why a guy would go to the levels that he goes to.
Which was my issue with the movie.
Right.
Anytime you ever talk about Deathwish,
right,
immediately they talk about Charles Bronson getting revenge because they raped his family.
Right. It's the line. It's the tagline, basically. Yeah.
So that element was taken out, and I do think that it dilutes the screenplay and his objective to kill people like that. But with that said, Bruce Willis is Bruce Willis. You know what I mean? Back in machine gun form. And
fair enough.
There's a lot of great things. Joe Carnahan.
Right.
I'm a huge fan of. Smoking Aces, Narc, A-Team. Love his stuff. Really good writing. Eli Roth directing. A lot of good horror elements put in.
It seemed like a movie that might have some creative kills in it, kind of a little bit.
It had some creative kills because of Eli Roth's horror background.
Right.
To take those kills and put them in an action film, those kills are amplified.
I think he's the kind of guy who just kind of goes around the house and like he sees something. He's like, how could that microwave stand kill me if someone had to kill me with it? He's that kind of
I appreciated that. So this is a light cash for me.
I appreciate that
because it is fun.
Right.
To watch, Bruce Willis kill these fucking punks.
Sure.
But the whole motivation thing.
But it's kind of
it's in your
sad.
Craw. Yeah, it kind of sticks in your craw a little bit.
That he didn't go the distance, and Eli Roth goes the distance.
Normally, yeah.
Normally,
Yeah.
so.
And it also seems to me like it wouldn't. You need that rape scene just to really justify the violence.
To justify his MO.
Right. To justify his MO, of course. But I mean, even further to the violence, the level of violence that they go to, because the original Death Wish was the same way.
Right.
It was all about creative kills.
Right.
So in that sense, Eli Roth was being true to the original, but
in the one place where it kind of mattered for the story.
Right. He wasn't. So then,
Now, I'm not saying that if your wife dies, you don't want to go out and kill these bastards. It's there,
right? Yeah. Absolutely.
But as a film now, it's kind of like been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, but there's a certain level. The violence begets violence.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is a light cash. It is not as bad as people are making it out to be. But the last thing I'll say, and I won't get into it much, but I know that there's a lot of political things about it because of the guns and stuff like that. I have no issue with. That's bullshit. To me, this is just a popcorn film.
Right.
And it's done rather well.
Yeah.
But they should have went full Monty. So this is a light cash.
Fair enough.
Isn't there another movie Bruce Willis came out with this year where he plays plays a cop trying to hunt down a vigilante doing the same thing?
I don't remember. That's the thing. I mean, he was doing a lot of direct-to-video stuff lately. You know what I mean? I know that some of his films only got limited theatrical release. The movie he did with Hayden Christensen, we reviewed the trailer for it on here. That got like a limited 10 theater release, I think.
Well, I blame Hayden Christensen for that one.
Actually, we already went through that. Hayden Christensen's actually a decent actor. It's just
he is. He is.
Not under George Lucas.
I think he's got a bad rep right now.
Yeah, watch Shattered Glass, and you'll.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And watch Life is a House.
Yes,
he's really
another
Kevin Kline.
good.
So when he's not playing somebody tough.
When he's not directed by George Lucas.
Well, that too.
Feel like cardboard. Go.
Right.
And cry. He can cry. We know that. He can cry on demand, which is a trait you need in an actor playing Darth Vader.
The one final thing I want to say, and I didn't discuss this with you at all, was at the end of the movie, they play AC/DC's Back in Black.
Right.
Now, that's a song I've heard
a million times.
A million fucking times. However, when you're in a movie
Yeah.
and you got like that end song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I actually stayed just to listen to Back in Black through those fucking speakers.
Yeah,
on
I
a
can
big
imagine.
fucking screen.
That
Because
sounds
it's
yeah.
like you're hearing it for the very first time,
Right.
loud and big, and
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck yeah, you need to make movies where you take these old fucking hard rock tunes
Yeah.
and put them in there. Fucking A. You know what I
Right,
mean?
sure.
And it's a generic tune at this
You've
point.
heard it a million times,
No,
right?
but-
It's classic hard rock blues.
Like, I stayed there. I was
Yeah,
the last
yeah.
guy to leave in the theater. As
Just
the
like-
credits rolled,
Just listen to this song. through
taking
this-
Back in Black in.
through that sound system.
So,
I can imagine.
kudos to Eli Roth for putting
Yeah.
that in there.
Nice.
You know what the story behind that song? They wrote it for Bon Scott because after he died,
That's right. It's
and it basically as a way of letting the devil know that he was coming.
yeah,
You know, he's on his way back to hell. It was like a follow up to Highway to Hell.
right.
I got you.
Because that was his way of saying then that that's where he's going to be. So now this was the follow up to that.
But what a fucking album to come back with a new
Oh, that
singer too.
was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal album. And there was a singer that Bon Scott fell in love with when he saw him in a band on a stage one day. And he was like, he went back to the guys and he was like, dudes, I heard this guy. He's phenomenal. He was screaming and rolling around it was awesome. But it turns out that he actually had just blown his appendix on stage.
That's why he was rolling around.
And that's why he was rolling around.
And screaming quite like that.
Right. But it just turns out that the guy actually has the best possible replacement voice for fucking Bon Scott.
And that was the night from all that screaming that he blew out his throat, and that's why he sings like.
The thing too about
Oh, by the way, Benny Livewire in the chat says, "Fuck yeah." I'm not sure exactly why, but he heard something he liked in this whole AC/DC talk.
the Deathwish movie's got a really good cast behind it too. Vincent D'Onofrio, Elizabeth Shue, Dean Norris, Christine Leese, Kimberly Elise. I'm sorry.
Fucking Dean Norris.
Yeah, these are some really good character actors.
They
that
are.
help cement this through. So it could have been a disaster. It's not. I just wish Eli Roth went the full distance.
All right,
Final
we're gonna
thought.
come back to you. You got one more. I'm gonna jump in here, Bob, for Jessica Jones. We'll come back to you for your last one.
Sure.
You got this other one in there. So Jessica Jones dropped this week.
Yeah.
We mentioned it a little bit up front.
I'm in love with her.
Probably don't want to get too spoilery because we didn't finish it anyway. We're up to like episode 5. We're watching it as a couple.
Yeah. We just went through 5.
We're doing the whole strictly Netflix, no chilling.
Definitely.
Definitely. That's nasty.
Definitely.
Well, why wouldn't you want to be relaxed while you're watching Netflix?
Or just drinking a cold beverage, maybe. Maybe that's what that means.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So anyway, no, we're digging it. Feels a little bit, at least at this point, like it's given a good run. Like I was worried that it wasn't going to be as good as the first season.
So far, we're basically through the setup.
Yeah. So
You know.
far, it's like it's good. It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
I like where it's going. It's gotten deep for a couple of characters that really didn't kind of expect, like on a personal level. And
You're talking about what's his name, the associate.
there you go. That's the other person. So I'm thinking about the associate and people whose health is not that great.
Oh yeah.
So with these like new kind of additions to the storylines for some of the characters, it's like okay,
So someone who wishes she was in the Matrix.
subtle, real subtle. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was happy to see that. Is it like the most action-packed thing, even going into episode 5? No, not really.
Lot
it's-
of drama, a lot of setup.
It doesn't feel like it's lacking for it.
No,
though,
no, no. It's good storytelling, and you feel like that this is all leading someplace.
Yeah, and it's all kind of going to
Yeah.
be tied together and
You're
put a
not-
bow at the end.
You're not being held up in the dark, and so things become boring.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, so this is a new asshole.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
Okay, it's cool. We're learning that about this new asshole now.
Yeah. We kind of get it at a good speed. They're not holding stuff like for these long periods where it's like, oh, here's a guy we're gonna meet this week, and like we're gonna wait like 3 episodes to let you know what his really deal is. It's like no, we kind of like
And
as we
we've-
meet them, we're learning like
Yeah,
all their motivations.
and we're learning them, and we are getting a little bit of the story.
Yeah.
It's not like there isn't a story going on. That's plot. The main plot. It's not like it's being held up at all. We're just getting in a pace right now.
Sure.
Oh, Hogarth. Is that what the name you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. At this point. Yeah, so I don't know if anybody was kind of just wondering where it's at. Like, come episode 5, it's still holding up. It's still pretty good. I kind of wanted. I still want it to be a little bit more smaller case thing. I mean, we're dealing with backstory this season and getting some answers for Jessica's backstory. So it's still going to be big deal stuff. Like when she kind of auditions, well, not auditions, but like when people come to her in season 1, like, and they do the montage of people like, hey, help me, montage of like 20 people. Like, I do want to see her kind of like do a couple of those cases here or there that are only like an episode long. Yeah. Or 2, or just kind of continue and pop up, but it's not like a really big story. It's about someone's cat. Right. But I wouldn't mind if that's the distraction once in a while.
Yeah,
not everything has to be ninja shit.
Well, you know what? I mean? Maybe in the case of a show like this, where Marvel, we know, has had a bit of an issue with pacing. Yeah. This is a way to help alleviate a little bit of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind some of those stories once in a while. But
as
so
for
far,
now,
so good.
Yeah, as for now, I was just gonna say, so far so good.
Are we gonna get Hellcat in this one?
Hellcat. So Bob, I don't know, but that's Patsy's like superhero. Trish, that's her superhero name. She does get hellacious. I'll say that she does turn into a Hellcatish person. But hey, it does seem like she's on an interesting path where like, she's not fucking around anymore. I'll let you know that. Yeah. All right. She ain't fucking around anymore, and she holds a gun pretty well. When she holds a gun, suddenly she's a little hotter than she was 10 minutes ago to me. Okay. And guns usually don't turn me on.
So she's like Laura Lance season 3?
I don't know what that means. I know it's an Arrow reference. I don't know what that means. I can't contextualize that Arrow reference. She's like Black Canary. I don't know. Which one is that? I don't know.
Well, there are 4 of them.
There's 4 canaries now? Yeah. Blue Canary? Is that the new one?
No. There have been 4 characters who've all taken on the mantle of Black Canary.
But one of them's the White Canary now.
One of them is white now.
But we moved her off to a different show. For clarity's
And then you have the doppelganger of one who's the Black Siren.
Oh, right. Earth 2 and all that.
Yeah.
Or no?
Yes, Earth 2. Yeah, Earth 2. No, you got it right. You got it right.
All right, well, there's 52 of them, so a lot of shades. Right. Yeah. A lot of shades of Canary.
Just all you got to know is Quentin Lance keeps getting confused because he keeps talking to her and trying to be nice to her even though she's not his daughter.
And there's more of that where it came from, which is the DC TV report. Yes. Right. Available every Sunday on iTunes, Google, Stitcher.
I think weren't we talking about something from Marvel?
We were. Yeah. That was your DC break.
Yes.
Don't ever do it again. But yeah, so enjoying it, looking forward to it, and I'm sure down the line more surprises to come.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll hit a dull spot too.
Yeah, I mean you can't help it.
Yeah. But
it's the longevity of a 13-episode series lately.
It's nice.
Not even just the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
I know it's on other shows.
It's nice that she's not your normal female character.
I will say it's funny. The humor's working on just as well as it did in season 1, if not a little better right now. Some of the jokes they land a little better.
And they fit her attitude perfectly.
It's all about her.
It's all about her attitude.
It's all about her attitude. Which is a funny thing because in season 1, like sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't for me. Sometimes it was just like, I know that you are a badass, but physically, like you don't ring badass to me. It just feels like you're like it's just a chick with an attitude and a leather jacket.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, but there are times where like, no, it works. She sells it better this season. Yeah. So that's that. Jay?
You okay?
You're smoking that pipe so much now that I do think
Check
crack
that
is in
thing
it.
for rocks, really.
What's the matter? What happened?
Eden Lake.
Yes.
What are you fucking cooking up over there?
No, I'm good.
Oh, you're just leaning into the bit. You're leaning into the bit. Okay.
This was a horror movie that came out about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That I never watched. I heard about it. But I caught it the other day on Stars.
On Stars.
And it was actually quite good. It's with Michael Fassbender. It's before
he did
before Bastards.
Okay.
Sure. Glorious Bastards. And it's a horror film about a couple that go to a beach area, a lake basically.
Lake basically.
And they run into this crazy crew of like 14-year-old kids. And they're fucking like the worst fucking 14-year-old kids you'd ever fucking meet in your lifetime.
Right.
And shit happens. You know, they engage.
Oh, they engage.
And
Engage.
what happens is Michael Fassbender kills their dog by accident. But he kills their dog in total accident form, but these kids were harassing this couple.
Right.
So basically it becomes this whole chase in the woods movie.
Right, where they think he killed the dog on purpose.
No, but these
just
little
want revenge.
bastards are
They want
fucking
revenge.
terrorizing
I got
this
you.
couple.
I got you.
And it gets brutal, man. It gets so fucking brutal that I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking good.
My new favorite movie.
And it's a grim fucking hard watch because it gets fucking violent and it gets fucking, barbed wire, tying their hands together with barbed wire, fucking slashings, fucking bleeding to death, kind of fucked up shit going on. And the ending...
But in a fun way.
But it was a movie that I didn't see the ending coming either. You know what I mean? It was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? So it's a grim fucking dark look at the slasher film done with a nice modest budget. It looked good. This was part of, Dimension.
Okay.
Harvey Weinstein's other little thing that he did with Dimension back in the day.
One of his less sticky projects.
But, the quality is there, man, and it's a really good movie directed by James Watkins. He's known for doing a show now called McMafia. That's on AMC with David Strathairn.
It's a current hit.
And he also directed an episode of Black Mirror, and the female in it, I think her name was Kelly something. But she was redhead. She was on True Detective Season 2. That's where I recognize her from.
I think I know her.
So this is a really good flick if you're into horror and you want to see like a really cool little slasher film where the antagonists are like 14-year-old kids.
Right. You don't see that often.
Check that out. In fact, it just goes to show you why Michael Fassbender is where he is now.
Right.
Because he just was a guy that can really fucking act. He's a good presence.
Right.
He's a good actor. So you can definitely see why Tarantino got him.
Yeah, what's funny is I'm glad you mentioned that because it reminded me that I saw Prometheus.
Oh, you did? You finally took a look at that?
Yeah, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Little Lindelof for you?
Was that
a little too much Lindelof?
I can't. I don't know. I like me some Damon, but I don't know. I couldn't see the fingerprints too easily.
A little bit.
I mean, they're in there, but like to find them versus like Ridley's, like for what's going on, it's like I feel like Lindelof is in there helping map out how things can kind of connect and cross-connect to other movies.
Right.
But there's not a lot of that, like, hard planted in your face. You kind of just got to contextualize and know stuff to kind of go, okay, that's what that all is.
But let me ask you this serious question: when you watched that movie, did you feel like you needed to know more things that were happening?
Not quite, but like I did feel like because they explained enough where like they laid it out.
Right.
Okay, so
Ed's chomping at the bit, so hit me with it.
Here's the thing with that movie.
Yeah.
It says, in the trailers and in the promotions, we're going to seek out to answer the question of where humans came from. And like how we were,
not sure
how
it's implied.
How life was created. And then about a third away from the movie, they put that to the side and they never go back and answer that question.
Yeah.
Just
but that's all right because I know that's because how it was set up was like that's the mission.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Well, actually, the plan is to colonize.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they never sold it to me as like we were going to get the human secret. I think like once you know everything there is to know about the movie
you figure
and the
rest
franchise from reading articles, you know that there was a conversation about the last movie where that was the plan. In this movie, it's just about you learn about the aliens and you learn about what happened to her and the original robot in the previous movie, and how that spirals into events for this movie.
Right.
And it's and if you want to, you can map it all out on a timeline. Like I'm sure this whole holds up in relationship to the original, because this still is prequel era to the original with Sigourney, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is this too. I think that a lot of complaints from that movie came from the fact that it didn't tie into Alien, and there's other questions that you really didn't need. Well, that's one of the big factors is that it didn't tie into Alien. You didn't solve the Alien issue. And I'm saying to myself, like, I think it's all there for you to understand, like, all right, they created this black ooze or whatever, stuff like that. And from that, regardless of what species or it can be anything, that humans could have came from that.
Yeah.
in some form, you know what I mean, with
yeah.
different species along the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was satisfied with that. A lot of people weren't.
And I might not have been carrying much baggage with me too, because it's been a while since the ad campaign. Like I wasn't even thinking about any of that.
Oh, okay.
I was just thinking of it like in context to like either like the universe as a whole, as a franchisey kind of universe, or just its relationship to whatever previously. Like, you know?
Yeah. Now, Charlize Theron's death in that movie.
In what movie?
In Prometheus.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. All right, fine. It's a
She's in it?
movie. Yes, she is.
Where is Charlize Theron?
She's the chick running the mission.
The captain.
She's the money.
Yeah, she's the bitch.
She's the guy who has that whole scene with Idris Elba where they're talking about like, you know.
Oh, so I didn't watch Prometheus. I watched Covenant. My bad.
Oh, you watched Alien Covenant.
I watched Alien Covenant.
Oh, okay. So then all this conversation that you and I have been having makes absolutely no sense.
No. This is all. What's funny is I was like, we were kind of like.
And you kept talking about Covenant. I thought like you'd already seen Covenant. Now you were watching Prometheus.
Did you see Prometheus?
Yeah. I saw Prometheus.
Okay, but you told us at the beginning that you saw Prometheus.
I know that. I realize I said the wrong movie now.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that we were able to go this long. Is that saying something about these movies? Or just how stupid I am?
No, they're two completely different films.
Yeah,
It's just that...
There's enough similarity where we were able to go that long talking about two different movies? But I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
We were talking about two different movies.
No, Alien Covenant I actually liked a lot. I loved that.
Yeah, Covenant was better. I think it has a stronger ending.
Yeah. No, I'm surprised at the whole thing with me talking about like getting the background for the other. I guess. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. It was because I was just going to point out that Charlize Theron dies because she's the stupidest human.
Oh, that's probably true if I remember correctly.
She literally, if she stood still, she'd be fine. So she decides to run to the exact point where she would have died.
Right. So in Alien Covenant, I liked what happened in that movie.
Okay.
End of segment.
Okay.
Rather than try to start that over or something, you know what I mean?
Just
that is funny. Yeah.
Michael Fassbender.
But that was what brought me in. Was Michael Fassbender.
Phenomenal.
Michael Fassbender in this one, spoiler, gets to play against himself in it.
Yes.
And it was pretty cool. It was fun stuff. And you can see what's coming a mile away for the basic kind of tropey. We got two people. One's gonna be bad, but pretty fucking well done, man.
Yeah,
I liked
agree.
it. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. But again, I think going back to what I was saying before about not going in with any fresh buzz because I was catching it on HBO, not having any of that other baggage, not in my fresh memory. It was like, oh, I could kind of come in clean. I'm not part of the conversation. You know what I mean? Currently,
And ballsy to end it that way.
Yeah. That's the thing too with that movie. The carnival. All right. That's kind of funny, right? I mean, that was an interesting little turn in that story.
All right.
Just as people were getting tired of hearing us talk about it, it was like, oh, look at that. That's a development.
You want to do the Capcom?
Look, it's about time. So not really, but that was a pretty fun one.
Yeah.
Over on our Facebook page, there's a group, and in that group is a caption thing we do every week. Every Monday, I put up a new picture, and sometimes we get to it, sometimes we don't here. But
it's a pic from Tony Scott's Top Gun.
Yeah. And I think I don't know. Do you have a favorite rather than? I don't know if we got a lot in that. I don't know. I'm pulling it up.
We can go through them. My favorite is the first one, which your brother David put in. The picture is Tom Cruise holding up his fist in a locker room, looking Val Kilmer down, and there are two guys in the background, kind of just observing the situation. But first caption is, "This fist, your anus. Let's go."
Yeah.
The U.S. Naval Rock, Paper, Scissors team warming up in the locker room at the arena before the World Championship. Another one, do you see this bicep? Paper, Goose lives, Rock, he dies. And then Goose in the background going, shit. Do you know what happens to ice in your fist like this? Turns to water. You know what water does? Kill geese. Is the quarter in this hand? She's lost the rectal feeling. Ooh, that retention feeling. Don't worry. If the rid canopy doesn't do the job, this cyanide pill will.
I have something to say after this is done.
I can't wait until Batman ruins your career being Val. Then who will be shorter than?
Yeah, this bit sucks.
Yeah.
All right. This is the problem with the bit. It's a visual. It's a visual. You can't, like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to have the picture in front of you. It's a different kind of animal.
I gotta say something. The problem for me with the actual caption was the fact that I think Quentin Tarantino said all that there needed to be said with Top Gun.
So
so the fact is that since I'm looking at that,
talk about that.
No. It just brings me back to that. That was just.
No. This is a movie now that once you hear that, once you know that, you can't escape thinking about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this movie now, once you hear Quentin Tarantino's take on Top Gun, it's like, okay, this movie's gay as fuck now.
What was his take?
The thing is that Quentin Tarantino did a film called Sleep With Me. It was an independent film. It didn't go too far. But Eric Stoltz produced it, and Tarantino did a cameo in the film as a favor because of his involvement, Eric Stoltz's involvement in Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
And there's a scene where there's a big party, and Quentin Tarantino talks to one of the guys and talks about how Top Gun is the gayest film ever. But his whole story about it is phenomenal.
I'll see if I can find it.
But yeah, it's so now whenever I see like the caption test, the only thing I can think of is the brilliance of his monologue on how Top Gun is the gayest film ever. And there's been a lot of videos, YouTube videos, where people actually cut Top Gun, the scenes of Top Gun to his story.
Well, he likes those kind of monologues. That's one like he did with Madonna.
Right.
He loves these like explanatory.
What's it really about? What genre does it take?
What like the spine?
The spine.
Like one sentence? Like
No, I don't fucking Boy Meets Girl. I don't give a shit about that. Fuck Boy Meets Girl. Fuck motorcycle movie. No, what is really being said? What's really being seen? That's what you were talking about. Because the whole idea, man, is subversion. You want subversion on a massive level. You know what one of the greatest fucking scripts ever written in the history of Hollywood is?
What?
Top Gun.
Oh, come on.
Top Gun is fucking great. What is Top Gun? You think it's a story about a bunch of fighter pilots?
Yeah, it's about a bunch of guys waving their dicks around.
It is a story about a man's struggle with his own homosexuality. That's it. That is what Top Gun is about, man. You've got Maverick, all right? He's on the edge, man. He's right on the fucking line, all right? And you've got Iceman and all his crew.
Right.
They're gay. They represent the gay man, all right? And they're saying, go the gay way, go the gay way. He could go both ways.
What about Kelly McGillis?
Kelly McGillis, she's heterosexuality. She's saying, no. Go the normal way. Play by the rules, go the normal way. And they're saying, no, go the gay way. Be the gay way. Go for the gay way. All right, that is what's going on throughout that whole movie.
What is this party? Who are these people that make me sick? What is that? Who are you? Who are you?
These other people talking.
What is he wearing? It's some kind of like dance jumpsuit, freakish little gaucho. Let's go to Spain and dance with our arms over our heads.
He goes to her house, right? All right. It looks like they're gonna have sex. You know, they're just kind of sitting back. He's taking a shower and everything. They don't have sex. He gets on the motorcycle, drives away. She's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on here?
Right.
Next scene you see her. She is in the elevator. She is dressed like a guy. She's got the cap on. She's got the aviator glasses. She's wearing the same jacket that the Iceman wears. She is, okay, this is how I gotta get this guy. This guy's going towards the gay way. So I gotta bring him back. I gotta bring him back from the gay way. So I'm gonna do that through subterfuge. I'm gonna dress like a man. All right? That is how she approaches it.
Right.
Okay. But the real ending of the movie is when they fight the Migs at the end. All right, because he has passed over into the gay way. They are this gay fighting fucking force, all right? And they're beating the Russians. The gays are beating the Russians, all right? And it's over, and they fucking land. And Iceman's been trying to get Maverick the entire time. Finally, he's got him, all right? And what is the last fucking line that they have together? They're all hugging and kissing and happy with each other. And Ice comes up to Maverick, and he says, man, you can ride my tail anytime. And what does Maverick say? Maverick, you can ride my sword fight! Sword fight! Fucking it, man!
This is fucking retarded.
Yeah, he loves those kind of monologues, so, man.
Bravo.
I look forward to the sequel.
As long as they open with that.
There you go. So let's roll into the emails. How about that?
Why do I miss Dom now?
Oh. He was in town. I saw him yesterday.
Right now, he's not even in the chat room.
It's a long-ass drive.
It's a long drive from here to Albany. So let's see what we got. Oh, looks like somebody got a hold of the email account, and we're getting a lot of junk mail suddenly. All right, we got one from our buddy Benny Livewire, out in the chat lands. We got one here. What's he saying? Hey, fellas, any of you guys Lego geeks? If so, what are your favorite franchises? I'm a Lego Star Wars fan and proudly display a Rebel U-Wing fighter and a Death Star Final Duel set from Return of the Jedi. Also, did anybody actually like the Lego movie? Would you see the sequel in 2019? Benny Livewire, checking in. Thanks, Benny.
Had Legos as a kid. Don't remember the sets.
Yeah, loved Legos, but that was like in an era where they didn't really have a lot of franchisee.
Right, yeah, it was just different types of environments,
different color squares,
situations, and stuff.
Yeah, like some environments. I guess maybe there was some crossover tie-in stuff, but it was very few and far between.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might in the '80s you might have got like the shuttlecraft,
something like that, something like real worldy, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I remember. There was a pirate set.
Yeah, stuff like usually that. Like kind of like right, like stuff like that. That was like generic, like haunted stuff, or like something was like not a property.
Right.
Yeah,
not a license.
Fighter jets and I think things like that.
Space, but maybe NASA was like real. That was about it, probably.
But I loved the Lego movie.
Oh, okay.
Lego movie was a very good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
everything is awesome.
Even this movie.
Look, you just say that and everyone starts laughing.
Yeah, and that and Lego Batman movie, both movies that came out in like January or February,
right,
and got passed over come Oscar time, which is like what the
yeah, well, that's what happens to that stuff. That stuff doesn't get taken seriously.
Ferdinand,
you think like regular genre stuff has a hard time, like animated stuff, like unless it's like some poignant and fucking Disney movie where it only gets like really nominated for its script and its song.
Like Boss Baby's towing the line, but you put Boss Baby and Ferdinand, and Lego Batman gets no love. Jay, can you explain that to me?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of the Lego sets I had. I mean, I had the Last Tango in Paris Lego set. That was a lot of fun.
Did it come with extra butter?
It came with one of those little honey made things for the butter. It was great. And
I feel like a chat room game coming on here.
Yeah, Last Tango in Paris.
I don't know.
I had the Apocalypse Now one too. That was a lot of fun.
The Pulp Fiction one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pulp Fiction one was great because it had the gimp.
It had the gimp. It had the briefcase. A little light in it, but that's it. Like, you couldn't really tell what was in it.
I'm with Bob because I remember in the 70s, there wasn't much variety.
No, it was like real wooden blocks, Legos, and erector sets.
Right. I mean, you got to remember the first real movie license was Star Wars,
right?
And that was '77,
right? But they didn't even have Lego sets.
And those didn't even come out until '78.
Not even Legos didn't even tackle Star Wars until like the last 15 years, I think. You know what I mean? It was, or the last 20. I mean, I'll give it the last 20.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's really been like the last 15 years. That's when they've gotten all these licenses and they've really created.
Because you got
stuff.
like a firehouse. You had your little fireman guy and a dog.
You might have had a rocket
dog.
ship. Yeah, or a space shuttle, or
a farm, or a police station,
or like in the Lego movie, the generic space guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the generic space guy.
Yeah, the generic space.
That's
I remember
who you
that.
got.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I definitely remember that.
Oh, you had like things like an ambulance.
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah, I remember erector sets.
Yeah, bristle blocks. Remember that?
No, what the hell is that?
Bristle blocks were like, now I'm going into mid-70s.
It's like pre-Velcro.
I'm gonna have to look. Oh, I I know what
they're big things. Yeah,
like flat pieces.
No,
like
big, thick, fat bristle.
No, bristle. They were like. I got. I'm gonna look them up. There you go. Bristle blocks. Bristle blocks. I think I know exactly what these are.
That's actually from '60s. Yes. That's actually
different geometric shapes with like plastic ends that were like brushes.
Yeah, they interlock much like burrs.
Interlocked.
Like
right.
a bristle bush.
Like in the late '60s, even into the '70s, you had like a lot of simple things, like Weebles. Remember that? Weebles were these
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Yeah,
right.
Then I started throwing them.
Well, that's a whole thing. You're breaking the rules.
They hurt, and then they still don't fall down.
But they come right back up.
They go right back up.
Yeah, that's weighted wood pieces. That's what that was.
So that's why I don't make them anymore because they're like used as weapons.
Yeah, I'm sure they were filled with lead too back in the day, in the base. All the weight.
Yeah, there was like his wood and it was encased in plastic.
Right.
So if you belted that at somebody's head,
you knock them the fuck out.
well, yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a hard egg.
When I was a kid, I had the plane. I had the jet plane with the pilot. You put the pilot in there, and then you roll the jet plane across the floor, and he just turned his head back and forth.
That's all it was.
And
yeah.
that's all it was.
They weren't ever going down.
Good times.
And if any of you are surviving today, they still
Yeah.
still standing up somewhere.
Yeah, really. They don't fall down.
Nope.
They just make your kid retarded because they're filled with lead.
You put them in your mouth. Oh.
Don't put it in your mouth.
So yeah.
So yeah, that's toys. So we got another question here. We got another email, rather, I
Okay.
should say. This one's
Who's
from
this?
Chad Rose.
Ooh.
The rosiest of all Chads.
Chad and
What's
V.
up, Chad?
What's going on?
My buddy on Facebook.
He
What does
wants to
his
know.
Email say?
His email says, if Jay doesn't have a goatee, is it really a Jay?
Well, of course, because I started the show with that one,
That's true. That's true.
and I was saying some repugnant shit.
Even back then.
Even back then. Yeah. So it's fine. And I'm starting to grow the beard out again. So yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, you get a nice little stubble.
It's fine.
Yeah, a little.
I just look like a younger version of foul mouthed Jagaloon.
Jagaloon. That's today's word of the day.
Well, you got to keep changing your look for your next set of headshots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's why Jason Bateman is my hero, because he's looked like he's fucking 30 for the last 30 years.
Yeah, he hasn't changed
Since he was
Hogan's
18.
Yeah, since Hogan's
He's the
family.
same guy. Man.
Same fucking
So
haircut.
there's hope for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him in Chicago Suns with David Krumholtz. That was like short-lived.
What was funny about him on Hogan's Family, it was like he felt like the one kid that like, you're too old to be living at home. Like, because he looked so much like older and carried himself like grown up, like you know.
At the very least, it was like, well, why are you still living at home?
Did you move back
with this insanity? Going on?
Right, with these two goofy younger brothers and
Well,
your dad?
He was. I think he started on like Little House on the Prairie kind of
Oh,
stuff.
sure, he was a
You know
kid
what I
actor,
mean?
I think, yeah.
He's like started through that, but always consistently working.
Yeah.
On these little projects, and all of a sudden, boom.
Oh, boom.
Right, yeah.
And one of them was Smoking Aces, which was Joe Carnahan's movie, and he's hilarious in it if you've ever seen it.
Well, back to the email. He says that I should be careful because you might be a clone, since you're looking a little different.
If there is, God help us all.
God help us. Especially if there's any degeneration, because of like a
Exactly.
clone of you that's not quite right.
Because I've left DNA all over the fucking place.
Jesus Christ. So making a clone for you wouldn't be too difficult. Just follow him around.
Exactly.
So his thing leads us into the main area here of his article. Today's my first day. He watched Train to Busan.
God bless you.
It's a Korean zombie flick. He watched it last night and he was impressed by it.
Oh,
Did anybody
yes,
see it?
I know of it. I haven't seen it. No.
So
it's on my radar.
Okay.
Though.
So I guess spoiler. I don't know if it's spoiler or not, but yes. First of all, does anybody see it and thought so? I'm sorry, buddy. Question 2 is there is a scene when darkness, not total darkness, but darkness confuses the zombies. They still sense and lunge at sounds, but act like they are sniffing the air. I can't remember a narrative like this in another zombie flick. I'm wondering if you guys have any theories on it. It's kind of interesting. I mean, I guess, it kind of holds up. It makes some logic sense that, like, if their eyes aren't that great, maybe, but if they're in the near dark, they would probably default, because they're animalistic, straight to their sense of smell to kind of pick up, like, where are you at? Like, where's my food at? Smelling for food, basically.
Well, yeah. Well, you're actually smelling for a smell that doesn't smell bad because you smell bad.
That's true. The only thing that smells good around here is delicious.
So, assuming you can still smell because you're technically dead,
right?
Then yeah, you would have to revert to that. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you would smell something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a hard theory on it. I think it actually makes logical sense. It's actually a good. It's a good little take on on thinking it through. Of like, hey, if they're animals, like, if you were a dog, and you were fucking trying to fucking kill something in the dark, maybe that's what you would fucking start doing. You would start sniffing around.
Well, also, if they don't really close their eyes, those eyes are gonna stop working after a while. So the only sense you have to rely on is your smell.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the zombie theory is that, like, the sense of smell is the one thing that really fucking is like working on them a little bit.
Yeah.
Like if you read the Max Brooks stuff, like he goes into some zombie theory and that because he's building a world there, and I think that's kind of like how they defaulted.
One of the things I did like is what Romero was trying to do it with, where zombies kind of have a little bit of, remembrance of who they were.
Right.
Bud,
Yeah.
Bub,
yeah.
Bub, yeah.
Bub with the handgun at the end.
That was interesting. That was like very, very interesting. They never really like touched on that more.
Right.
And I thought that, that kind of makes logical sense to me. If you were alive, even though your brain is dead, you still have to have some kind of sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
you are completely freshly dead.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's got to be something left.
I know that he tried to hint at it in the original Dawn of the Dead because the reason why they were going to the mall was because it was some sense of them remembering places they would go to, and they would just, that's how they would ramble about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Howard Sherman.
Howard Sherman. Yeah.
He played
Bub.
Lex Luthor on Superboy, and to this day, I think that's the best live-action Lex Luthor.
He's been around. He's like in everything. If you see him, like he always bits parts in different movies.
I saw him live on Broadway in The Best Man. That show had John Larroquette, Angela Lansbury, James Earl Jones, Eric McCormick, Candice Bergen, and the only one I was struck by was Sherman Howard.
Yeah. There you go.
Just saying.
All right.
Wesley.
This should be a 12-pager, right?
Hey, you gentlemen. According to the rumors, John Williams will not be scoring any more of the Star Wars movies after Episode 9. Who do you think should be his replacement, and do you think they will do as well a job?
Trent Reznor.
Well, I think
I'm down for it.
I think Michael Giacchino, by law, has to compose everything now.
Michael Giacchino and Trent Reznor, they'll complement each other.
You would be all
Danny
for
Elfman.
Trent Reznor.
Yes, I would.
What about Danny Elfman?
I mean, if we want some horns and a sax to go, because that's what every one of his things did in the 80s. Like, but like the Batman theme does that too. Fucking the Flash TV show back then that he did, it was like his signature move for a while. It's like, okay. But like a little horn tootle.
Like from the 70s through the 90s, by law, Jerry Goldsmith and John Williams were the only people allowed to compose movie scores.
Fair enough.
Like it just seemed like that was it. And since Jerry Goldsmith died, it seemed like Giacchino took his place.
Well, look, John Williams isn't a kid anymore.
Yeah.
Here's a thought. Yngwie Malmsteen.
There you go.
You let him compose it.
Right.
Then you transpose it for multiple instruments.
Guys like Alan Silvestri, he's still very good.
Yeah. James Newton Howard.
James Newton Howard is good.
I'm back a little bit, right? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
you're gone.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay, very good. I don't know why that worked for a second.
Yeah.
In the off position.
Yeah, you
Stop it.
Thomas Newman is fantastic, although I've never heard his scores to have that vibrance, that big, huge vibrance of John Williams-ish kind of stuff.
They're more subtle.
They're very, very subtle. You're right. That's a good word.
Yeah, subtle like a fucking ton of bricks.
If James Horner was alive, that would be different.
Oh, his Star Trek too.
Elliot Goldenthal.
Okay.
He's great too. I know Fincher. He worked with Fincher a couple times. Actually, he's the Alien 3 composer.
And Junkie XL. Is that
right?
Is that?
Does he have a real name?
Yeah.
Is that what you're gonna say?
That's a composer. I think that might be Trent Reznor's pseudonym.
What about Jimmy Page?
No, it's somebody else. But it's one of these guys who kind of comes in from the outside, I think, though. Much
Jimmy
like
Page
Trent.
did do Deathwish too.
Yeah.
He's a big-minded guy when he writes. So why not Jimmy Page?
But to answer quick, there are a lot of composers, old school composers that can tackle this kind of stuff.
And look, John Williams has set so much of the groundwork in a way where anybody coming in, they're going to be playing like in that same world of musical cues and tones and stuff. So I don't think it's I don't think it's too much.
I think
to worry
Yanni's
about.
looking for work.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Look, if you ain't got some pan flute in the next run, like I'm out. Like, I'm just not even buying on. You know, a guy named Yanni, that sounds like a Star Trek guy.
Kerry King's going to have the, free time. Slayer's taking it easy after this
Like,
year.
we're trying to find the lost book of the Jedi. Who do we go to? Yanni, master of the pan flute. He has all the answers.
Yeah, I got to apologize. Junkie XL's real name is Tom Holkenberg.
Oh, well, you know what? I would be pissed if I was Tom Holkenberg right now.
And he's Dutch.
Oh,
so.
Dutch.
Or if he gave a shit right now.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Howard Shore.
If he was listening.
Howard Shore. Hans Zimmer. You know, we're just throwing.
Well, I had enough of Hans Zimmer, I think.
Yeah, no. He's a little too.
He needs to take a vacation for a couple of years, I think.
So,
what about what's his name from Dire Straits? He does movies all the time.
Oh, Mark Knopfler, but
Yeah.
again, that's a little different because he's more just him. It's him and the guitar.
Yeah, and it's
You
money
know
for
what I mean?
nothing.
And chicks for free.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, no.
Calling Elvis. Patrick Doyle.
That little
Kenneth Branagh's
faggot.
guy.
Oh yeah,
he's good. So there's a lot of.
He got a jet
Mark
airplane.
Knopfler is phenomenal guitarist. That's
yeah.
No pick.
Nope, no pick.
That's all thumb.
That yes, actually, it's more than just the thumb. Salt in the Swings is considered one of the hardest songs to learn how to play on the guitar.
So you learn that next week.
He's working on it. He's working on it.
That'll be our meanwhile intro.
Yeah.
Wesley wants us to know he's got an update. He's up to episode 138 of our backlog, which
Wow.
Give him another one.
At least,
Yeah,
at least
give
two.
him- yeah,
I'll give him one for each of us. That's one for Bob, and that's one for Med.
Well, we need one for a psychiatrist because I'm sure he's on medication.
We ain't
by
giving
now.
the shrink a bell. The shrink's probably, we're probably setting some kind of psychological reaction inside of him anyway. He's
A little
Pavlovian.
PTSD.
A little Pavlovian response probably when he hears the bell. Little Manchurian candidate kind of thing.
Send the show money. Ding. Send the show money. Ding.
There you go. And he says, hey, if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Wesley.
Wesley.
My man.
Gaskins. Well, thanks for emailing us, buddy. Thanks. Thanks to everybody for emailing us. Thanks to Chad and Ben. Benny Livewire. You know, he's a real live wire.
Live wire. That's what song is that? That's
A real live wire. I don't even think it's live wire. I think it's live one, right? A real live
Oh,
wire. Live
yeah,
one.
you're confusing two
Yeah,
songs.
Yeah.
I'm
Live Wire is
turning it into
Motley
him.
Crue.
He's
You're
Benny.
confusing me, Marty.
No, that's true. It is a
Yeah, Motley Crue. She's a live wire.
I've come all this way for a weakling human, a Vulcan boy, and a woman.
Easy, fucking. My fragile ears.
Klingon bastards, you've killed my son.
All right, with the Star Trek stuff.
I
Why
give
you
2
gotta
minutes for you and your gallant crew.
Why do you gotta open the fucking airlock door?
Because I watched Star Trek 2, 3, and 4 and part of 5 over the last few days.
Ooh.
Invested.
Call somebody. I'm not doing anything, all right?
Invested.
I'll keep you busy rather than having to relive all that stuff.
And enjoying them, too.
Oh, well, I would hope so. This table today, right? Maybe there's a latch underneath here that's not. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
About that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have an appreciation
I don't know if it really caught anything, but.
of Star Trek 3.
Nope. Still didn't do anything.
How can you be deaf with ears like that?
All right, that was funny. Okay, with that, kids, we're going to wrap it up.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I'm not done. I got things to say about
got
my
things to say?
my unit,
Don't call
About your,
me Tom.
about your penis?
my peni,
Your unit?
Don't call me Tiny.
my Johnson.
Yeah, I know what it. I know. Yeah, I got it the first time. The unit thing. Let
Carl
me know.
Hungus.
I hear he's nutty as a fruitcake.
All right, now there's two different shows going on. You're doing penis jokes, and I think you're doing quotes from movies. I'm not even sure.
This is all Star Trek 3.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Last call for drinks.
That's it. Last call for drinks.
is that
Last
the-
call for drinks. It's
We have an
Carlito.
after show.
Oh, Carlito's the bartender. What
Oh,
are
I
you-
watched that this weekend too.
What are you drinking? On the
You
way
think
out?
you big time?
The Enterprise is 20 years old, Jim.
I didn't look at you for that.
We believe her day is done.
David Kleinfeld.
Bob, I like you. Where can people find you?
At Bob WTPC.
Thank you.
Whole new ball game now.
Climb the steps, Jim. I'm at Edward O'Hare TBD. Climb
Thank
the
you.
steps of Mount Salea.
Sasso, man. Used to be wrong.
Used to be wrong. They'd be like, what's that smell? Oh, that used to be wrong.
That's a good fucking
I love that fucking. That's my favorite part of the movie.
Right.
That's where he's like, "What, Carlito? But I just tried to help. Carlito, don't. Why you gotta be so mad?
My ass?
My ass, Carlito."
Mr. Scott, have you always multiplied your estimates by a factor of 4?
Maybe.
Of course, sir. Otherwise, how would I keep my reputation as a miracle worker?
People gonna be like, "What's that smell?"
50, 65.
Like, well, I used to be wrong. That's Sasso. Used to be wrong.
Come on, you cocksucker.
And sometimes when I'm at the job, I'll just go, Kleinfeld.
We got some early Vigo in that, too.
Some Viggo Mortensen?
Yeah. Lely.
Lely.
Come on, I can't walk, I can't home. Look at me, you cocksucker.
Now, cocksucker.
You cocksucker.
All right, I'm going to start doing fucking Scarface. We got to stop. Okay, so.
How about Uncle Jay's thing? You cocksucker.
You cocksucker.
I request the refusion.
It's such a weird take on cocksucker. Like, you know, and that's why they leave it in. All right, I'm at Wicked Theory. The show is wickedtheory.com. Find it on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music. If you're listening live right now, don't go anywhere, folks. There's more entertainment to come.
Kleinfeld is my brother. I owe him.
I owe him. That was perfect, Jerry. That was perfect. Kleinfeld. Anyway,
you a gangster now.
I want to watch it.
Whole new ball game.
Self-destruct.
Hey, you, spaghetti dick.
I feel like it's all closing in. All right.
You killed us.
Just stop.
You killed us.
Tom was like, when will the show end? I don't know.
Bob, just start playing.
Stick around listening live, kids. If you're not, listen to us live once in a while.
Easy.
That's the 5 o'clock whistle. We're out of here. Bob, play
Train
us out.
to Busan is awesome.
I don't know what's going to happen.
The Wicked Theory podcast is heard live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern until whenever. Just go to mixler.com/wicked-theory. Mixler is MIXLR. Sign up to join the chat. Then click the follow button to get reminders whenever the show goes live. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, wherever good podcasts are given away for free, and at wickedtheory.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/wickedtheory. There you can get the after show if you miss it live. God forbid. Plus other exclusive episodes. As always, send your emails to podcast@wickedtheory.com.